call this work session order. This is our second budget work session, kind of in a bit of a hybrid tonight as our county administrator was called away for a family emergency. Our president is on his way and will be here shortly, so you're left with me to call this to order and get it started and kicked off. We're going to start off with tonight we're going to do Park and Rec, Public Works, and Board of Elections, but we're going to start out with the Board of Elections, so I will turn it over to Mr. Jeff.
Yeah.
Ms. Karen, whoever's going to lead that.
Sure, we'll start with the Board of Elections tonight on page 44 of your operating budget book. They just have the one sheet, and the only items of note are a $67,000 increase for COLAs and merit pay, and then $105,000 increase for non-capital lease payments, which I believe is earmarked for new poll books. Is that correct?
Poll books and voting equipment.
Yeah. Other than that, no major increases in their budget. They do have, the main reason we wanted the Board of Elections to visit tonight was to discuss their facility that's in the works, which is on page 27 of your capital books. And there's $8.1 million programmed, not next year, but in 2028 and 2029. And Mr. Edgar was going to give us an update on where that facility is looking.
Right, so, Christine can speak to the needs and the program and all that. Public Works will be collaborating with them, assisting with the development of the space, wherever and however it would be. At present, the program contemplates design in FY28 and construction in FY29. Through the design phase, the idea is that, we'll be able to nail down and refine at that point in time precisely the needs, but Christine and her team have put together a good breakdown of the space needs that they have right now. They're bursting at the seams in the Vincent building, and also there's other needs for the Vincent building as well, sharing the planning commission space for the polling and training and all that. So recognize the need for a new building. Right now, the budget numbers that you have before you contemplate, they're estimates based on 11,000 square feet is the program space that they're looking for. We're applying a unit cost of about $700 per square foot, which it's hard to believe we're talking about that kind of number, but in reality, that's with escalation in the industry, that's where we're looking at. But also it is a relatively conservative or semi-safe figure for something that would be a combination of warehouse space as well as offices. There's going to be training space for the election judges and such. When we get, as it proceeds to design, at that point in time, we'll be nailing down with more precision what those construction costs would be at that time. But so the budget before you right now is programming $100,000 in FY28 for design and $8 million in FY29 for construction. This presumes we would utilize county land, something that's already owned. And obviously there's a lot of different approaches we can take depending on the timing and where it may be located. But important thing is, I think, in the program, things you want to add regarding the needs from
Yes, so when we initially moved into the Vincent Street building, Lee and I were talking, we already knew at that point in time it wasn't going to be enough space for the future of elections. Currently, we don't have enough room to physically work on the equipment to do the maintenance or do any training within our suite. So we are utilizing the conference room next door a lot more, which is putting a little bit more restraints on other boards and offices that need that space as well. So we're looking at something that would be more conducive to our needs, that would include a space that we could do our training, our maintenance, and so forth on the collection equipment in the physical warehouse, as well as an office suite to meet our needs.
The idea is when this is done, I know right now for the last couple of years it's been a challenge as they've shared the planning commission room space during election season. And the warehouse, as it stands right now, the original idea was that you not only store the equipment, but you can prepare the equipment. And at this point, they only have room for
Storage,
hardly
well,
to storage.
yeah.
And so those are some of the needs. And I think there's state regulations that have changed over the last couple of years, which have,
Correct, that have changed the requirements for the amount of space that's needed for the equipment as well as for the office.
And how much
So,
is that?
Are you, oh, go ahead.
So based on the equipment that we have right now and the space, we're looking at about 3,000 square foot for the warehouse space, which would hold the election equipment as well, allow us to work physically on it without having to play Tetris, is what we call it in our office right now, moving stuff from office to office or across the hall.
Where do you store your ballots, paper ballots?
Currently in the warehouse. So when we have all of the ballots in the warehouse, it's quite difficult to move around the pallets of the ballots.
And how big is the warehouse?
It is about 936 square feet.
So I guess my question is, will Vincent remain the polling place, or will you try to utilize the new building as the polling place if it's close enough?
So what we'd like to do is utilize, if it's within this town area or close to it, utilize that for at least early voting. Depending on the location, it would either take away the Roosburg polling place, which is 6-1 on election day, or Centerville Elementary, depending on where the location of the office would be.
Gotcha, okay.
As a temporary fix, if we could find a larger warehouse space for you?
We can't have with the regulations, the warehouse space and the office space need to be,
Co-joined.
yeah, because of the security of the election systems.
Chain of custody on that stuff.
Correct.
All right. No. Any questions? Anybody?
Nope.
That's it? All right.
It is what it is. Thank you, State of Maryland.
But they're going to be busy soon anyway, so. You have a few things to do in the next couple months, right?
Yeah.
How long does the state ask us to keep paper ballots?
So the retention period, we have to keep it at least 22 to 24 months. And then if there's a lawsuit, like we just had a lawsuit for a previous election, so we didn't get rid of 2020s until just recently. So we were holding multiple elections worth of ballots.
They still got ballots from Washington when he was elected.
Yeah. William Packer?
All right. Thank you, ladies and Lee.
Thank
Unless you guys got anything else, you good?
No, we appreciate this. It'll help a great deal for our county and for the election process.
So you'll be basically up and running for the primary of 30 then, time-wise, it looks like? It's in construction schedule and all that works, Lee?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Based on this program, that could easily be achieved.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next victim, Park and Rec.
No, DPW.
Public Works.
You want? Well, mine has Park and Rec first, then Public Works.
On the agenda,
sheriff
but
is
the
already-
binders
I mean,
and,
the
I mean, it
sheriff's
doesn't matter,
office,
whatever you want to do.
I think $700 per square foot is steep. I don't think it's that much. But
We really need walk-up music.
Is it
You can
possible?
bring your whole, as many of your team up, is that it?
No,
Whatever you
I
got,
have
yeah.
airport and I have.
Bring up whatever you can, we got plenty of seats.
Ms. Farrell? Come on up. Come up to the lectern chair.
Is that everybody, Steve? Good? Yep.
That's just,
Grab one of them chairs and pull it up.
for us, for
We had one there and. Next.
parks, that's what we can. Sorry, who are you? That was just DPW. I only printed like 1 through 28.
Okay, sorry, exactly. You're good.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Is Jim alive?
He texted me earlier. He didn't say he was gonna be late, though. All right.
All right, so Parks begins with the Bay Bridge Airport on page 29 of your binders. Overall, the airport is projecting an approximate 9% increase in expenditures. The primary drivers of that increase are debt service, electricity, and consultant costs. Other than that, there weren't any major category changes that stood out. So unless there's any questions on airport operating, we can move forward to the golf course.
Patrick?
We're in the operating.
Sorry, nope.
Okay. Golf course.
Good.
Yep.
So the golf course budget begins on page 31. Overall, expenditures are budgeted to increase by approximately 5.5%, with no significant changes or major cost drivers to note. There is, however, an enhancement request for a part-time assistant golf course manager, which is not currently funded. The estimated cost for wages and benefits for this position is approximately $31,000. The details for this position can be found on page 33 of your binders.
And Erica, you just seen just an increase in usage and
We are.
golfers, and that's why you need to bring another person in part-time?
Correct, yeah. We set records like 3 months in a row last year in revenue. So it's just, besides that, the addition of the driving range and play on the island, traffic on the island. So it's a lot.
That's not a bad thing. We encourage the other golf courses in the area to charge higher rates, and then that way folks will come and play our course, okay?
Also, if I may add, correct me if I'm wrong, Erica's the only full-time employee there, and the golf course is open 7 days a week from 7:30.
Sun up to sundown, basically.
Yeah, sun up to sundown. So if anything happens, he's essentially working 24 hours a day, waiting for calls and stuff like that. The way we envision this position is to be another person of responsibility that can alleviate some of that
Kind
responsibility.
of like a
and take
closing
off some of
manager,
that.
so you can have a life.
Right,
Correct.
yeah. Someone to, when I'm not there to take care of the issues.
Sure.
It would be mostly seasonal, April 1st to November 1st, for their majority of their hours. And then, obviously, with daylight savings, everything gets cut back in winter.
Think that's a tough position to fill or no?
We were gonna try to do it as a part-time contractual first, just to see if we could get someone maybe that's, in the golf business that goes back and forth to Florida or something like that. Maybe even possibly like a PGA intern or something from one of the
There you go.
schools, and, throw the hook out there and see what happens. And if it looks like there's no interest because they went full-time, then we'll be back here asking for a full-time. But,
And is it safe to say a full-time would be double that, or a full-time would be more than that, or where are you at with the full-time on that?
yeah, I think we quoted full-time last year, and it was at least double. Yeah, it was probably double.
Easily double, I think, just because of benefits that would.
Right.
go into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's a good way to test the waters to see if we can get somebody in there and then,
I just know in the past we've had with Rangers and all that, we had a lot of difficulty getting part-time Rangers. People didn't want to have part-time positions, and then we wound up consolidating and creating more full-time. We've learned from the past. We might as well do it right the first time.
Right.
So,
there's no argument here.
I didn't think you would.
Well, good luck trying to fill
I
that.
figured it was going to be Jeff was going to argue with me more than you
A
would.
little harder to do,
Well, it's
July 1st.
definitely harder when, at this time of year,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And then again, the part-time, try to find someone who wants to do it part-time.
Right.
I mean, if I was that person, I'd want to do it full-time. So.
Well, retired.
Oh,
Come
no.
on down.
No.
All right,
All right.
next.
Public landings begins on page 34. Overall, expenditures are projected to decrease by approximately 7.8%, primarily due to a reduction in part-time wages to better align with historical actuals. And there are no other significant changes to highlight with landings, no enhancements. So,
He's coming in negative. We can keep going.
there you go. All right, parks begins on page 36. Overall, the expenditures are budgeted to increase by approximately 9.4%, driven primarily by payroll and related benefits, along with increases in utilities. There are also 3 enhancements, beginning on page 39 of your binders. These include the conversion of a part-time a park technician position from part-time to full-time, which is currently funded. Additional funding for the invasive weed treatment in the amount of $50,000, which is also currently funded, and a stormwater maintenance agreement totaling $38,000, which is not currently funded. So, you guys had any questions on any of the enhancements? Otherwise, we can keep right on with them.
So, Steve, what, I mean, obviously, fuel is such a unpredictable commodity. What did you guys build into this budget with all the grass cutting and all that? Where did you guys, I mean, I saw what the percentage increase is, but what did you base that on? Because right now I just paid $4.06 today, so. And doesn't seem like it's going the other way anytime soon.
I mean, at this time, at the time that the budget was submitted, gas was good. So
Compared to today, yes.
Compared to today. So, I mean, we didn't have any idea the gas was going to jump up to, 1.5 times that it is now. So unfortunately, we don't have that bump number
Okay.
for what it is today.
If you get that next time you come in or whatever, just let us know kind of where you were on it.
Okay.
Because that percentage, I don't think that percentage is right. Right, it's not where we're at today, so.
Before we move on to recreation? Oh, go ahead.
Going back to your point about learning lessons, our previous lessons about part-time to
I
full-time.
segued you right into that one,
You
didn't
did,
I?
it was a great
Yeah.
setup. But again, this position, we've had a difficult time filling it. When we did fill it, we were only able to keep the person for about 2 months. So we've just had this position sitting there for about 10 months now.
Okay.
So ideally, we do need it as, we have more and more work that's, being put upon us and projects and things like that. So this would be a great way to utilize a position that's already in the queue to our advantage.
Okay, you said that one is funded though, right? The increase to the full-time? That one's funded already.
Yeah.
For the parks, yes.
For the parks, okay.
Yes.
Patrick, Joe?
No.
All right, moving on. Recreation begins on page 43. Overall, expenditures are projected to increase by approximately 6.6%, driven primarily by an increase in professional services related to vendor camps. Those costs are offset by a corresponding increase in budgeted revenues, and there are no other significant changes to highlight in recreation.
What are vendors? Guys got any questions?
James can better answer, this James can better answer.
I asked him.
James, you have it? So vendor camps are basically contractual camps that we bring in, usually someone that of a speciality. So like we have a marine science camp, so we bring in a vendor and we negotiate a split in registration, and we have someone that's a more credible, vetted source as far as providing that type of information for that camp.
So it's not just.
Science and technology and STEM and stuff.
Yep, and then any type of advanced sports like.
Do you do STEM programs?
We do have a STEM camp.
You got drone races?
We don't have drone races.
We got to work on
Yeah,
that.
look into that. I know that's coming up, so.
All right.
Exactly what he said. Yeah.
You good? Patrick?
Thanks for the info.
Good? Yes, sir. No, just fast.
All right, we can move on to capital for this group.
Jack said, good thing we're sitting down.
You never disappoint, Steve.
Well, thank you.
What page?
Yep, so we can start on page 1. That's just the 6-year summary of the capital improvement plan. And then if we have questions on like the nitty-gritty projects, we can get into it, but I was just gonna go through at a very high level.
Okay.
So the airport doesn't have any FY27 requests, so we can skip over that unless anyone has any questions on the out years. The golf course has 2 projects totaling $280,000 for irrigation improvements and other general course improvements.
So what are those general course improvements?
We have tree removal to do, some bridge resurfacing. We have 2 outbuildings. One has a electric and an old pump station in it. One is right now primarily storage. so they both need sided and roofs on them. They're old wood buildings. We want to put some railroad ties around sections of the cart path that are close to the ponds.
Okay.
Right now, we have some fencing split rail fencing, which carts have gone through. They don't stop anything. And do some overseeding. So it's a beautification.
If you'd like some input on some of those trees that have to be removed in the fairways, just let me know. Because I know a few that need to go.
Those are healthy trees that you've been hitting, right?
We can
keep
certainly
that-
cut them
Seem
up
to
a
be in
little
the way of
higher
my-
so you can swing underneath them.
Always
if you
seem to
want.
be in the way of my ball.
Swing correction will fix that.
Slice.
There's someone who can help you.
Any more on that?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
You good on that?
Parks capital projects begins on page 7 with a total FY27 request of approximately $13 million. The major projects included in that request are $355,000 for various capital equipment, $150,000 for parking lot paving, $120,000 for playground improvements, $600,000 for continued trail development, approximately $1.3 million for athletic field improvements, and $10.5 million for a new recreation center.
So I've always commented that we have a lot of great department heads and a lot of great divisions of county government. But the one that really stands out in the sense that citizens get to see the immediate result of their taxpayer dollars.
Is the jail?
Is the jail. Is parks. I mean, if you think about it, they go to our parks, they use our landings, they use the trails. So a lot of the things that we're doing, I mean, anytime we hear numbers like we just heard for capital, you get a little concerned about it. But again, these are tangible things that our taxpayers can actually see and use themselves for their taxpayer dollars. So it's important. It still hurts a little bit. I have some ideas. You and I talked about them a little bit. Why we're on the subject, if I can really quick, this past weekend there was a 70 baseball team tournament that was hosted here on the shore in Queen Anne's County, and huge accolades to Robbie Blackiston and his crews in getting those fields ready between games. They hung out all day long in the freezing cold and prepped those fields between each game. They did an amazing job. So please do me a favor and pass that on to the crews. Outstanding.
Definitely, thank you.
Just outstanding. That's not an easy thing to do for 70 teams in a tournament. That doesn't necessarily mean I agree on these capital expenditures, but
It's a start.
that's all I have, buddy.
Were there any projects that we wanted to dive into the narratives on, or do you want to just wrap up with public landings?
So the 1.2 million for athletic fields is athletic field work, page 7.
Page 7.
Is that for turf
Well,
or something?
what made it
or-
into, it was 2 lighting projects. We were asked, when we met with Todd, to select one or the other of which fields, whether it was Bats Neck or whether it was going to be White Marsh.
Okay.
We decided to select White Marsh to do 2 fields there along with the infrastructure, so at a later date, it would be cheaper to go ahead and put the poles up to light up the rest of the fields if need be. So since they're in there
that's just
digging
for
around, let's go ahead and get that taken care of.
Mike, a question, at Bats Neck, we have that 90-foot field, and of course, we have the turf field that butts right up against it, and we have the lights there. Is there, in the future, perhaps planning to add some lights, since I guess the infrastructure's already there for the baseball field?
You'd have to run a couple more poles, just
Right.
because you can use the backside of the lights, because we had them engineered that way, so you can hang lights on the backside.
So you would need some stuff maybe down the outfield lines, or
Yeah, down the lines,
Okay.
down the third base, or first base
maybe
line.
just something to put on your,
So that was part of the original request, is to do White Marsh and Bats Neck.
Uh-huh.
And Todd had asked us to look at what we would prefer, one of the 2. So we opted,
does White Marsh have any lights at all?
White Marsh doesn't have any baseball
Okay,
field lights at
well.
all. Okay? But we do have a dollar figure for Bats Neck, and that would be $684.
684?
Yeah, and, yeah.
And that would do both the fields, the 90 and the smaller field.
And they have timers on them, right?
And they're set just from an app now. We can schedule them, go right to your phone, pull up the Musco app and turn them on right from the.
And it would charge the,
Is that Bats Neck on here? Am I just not seeing it, or?
you're not seeing it
Okay.
on there. It's combined with that 1.2.
Okay,
Line item 117.
okay. And you said Bats Neck would be 600,000 of that, roughly?
Yeah, 684, 632, so you might want to just say 7, just to be on the
Okay.
safe side.
With that reduction by taking Bats Neck Park out next year, we increased trail development by 300,000. I think Todd mentioned a trail out at the county complex around the YMCA.
Correct.
So we moved some of that money to that project
Okay.
to fund that.
Huh.
We can do both. We can as Parks and Recreation.
Well,
With your blessing, I mean-
I mean, if it's 1 million, well, look, we'll talk. But I'd like to see lights at that. We've already got it on the turf fields for football and lacrosse, and the baseball field sits right there. And it's not because I'm an umpire, I'm just saying it makes more sense if we could put 2 or 3 more poles there. And to me, it's $685,000 is, if it's already built into the capital for, I mean, I know we use 300 of it for some trail improvements, but anyway, discuss it and talk to Todd, see what he says, but I'd like to see us at least consider it.
Or an extension cord and a floodlight.
Might work.
Just
all I
hold us
have.
over.
You're back in. I think we're done now, though.
That's it for
If there's any other questions on parks, that we just have public landings, which is one project, so. Public landings begins on page 8 with a total FY27 request of $250,000 for the Mattapeak boat ramp. And this project is expected to be fully covered by grants, so.
Oh, all grant?
Yep.
Nice.
Fire department for their bank.
Well, there's 250,000
What,
towards
that
the lights I
included
need,
on
right?
parks.
Landing.
And Linda doesn't need anything at the airport, so we could borrow some money from what she's not using. Look at that, we're getting there.
That's not how this works.
What, El Jefe? All righty.
What are you doing with the map?
I think I've used up all my time.
Replacing it, it's bad concrete.
That was just there.
There's a pothole to the right.
Any other questions for us, or?
Just make sure you pass that message on to the crews.
Definitely will, definitely will. All right, well, thank you all. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coming out.
Now tell Megan you said hello.
Thank you for your, Phil, thank you for your QAC video.
You put in the
Oh, yeah, wasn't that fun?
feasibility.
I need to lose some weight, though.
Aaron, I was just saying, I don't know if they.
You got it, buddy, I promise.
Mark all the trees that you hit.
There you go.
So you need money, sir?
Well, Chris couldn't see
Come on, man.
So I'm guessing you had to go from
Like-
like jeans and your boots and your concrete pants and your gloves and into your Tommy Bahama stuff.
I was wearing this when I left the house in the morning.
What's that?
Oh, Jim was gonna sit there.
Jim has an issue with putting his back to people, just like I do.
Hi. Look sharp.
Where are we
I
now?
love this jacket.
Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.
Where? Oh, it's not the back.
He's gonna reach out to you.
They're leaving you all by yourself.
Oh, we did Bay
Selecting
Bridge.
schools. Yeah, yeah. No, please, no, please do.
For you. Thank you.
You know, he's
Oh, that's all right. I'll share.
18 years old. He's not 18 years old used to be. They're a little naive.
All right, Public Works, we start on page 6. One thing I wanted to point out with these departmental operating budgets is at,
I don't even have one.
Okay, that's good.
There we go. Do it.
Page 6 in the capital?
No.
of the operating books. We'll do the operating first and then the capital.
Oh, 6.
So start with DPW.
I got you. You're good.
As I was saying, wages on average go up about 5.5%. Health insurance is going up 6.5. Workman's comp went up 20%. And just basic inflation of commodities, anywhere from 5 to 10%. So when we
Workers'
look at
compensation was 29% increase?
average of 20%.
Was that a loss ratio issue? Did we have,
Potentially, yeah, I don't know exactly, but insurance in general, even our basic fleet and liability insurances are going up, 10 to 20%.
generally, if you have an increase like 29 point, or almost 30% in workers' comp, it's because you had some issues with some claims, and so they're adjusting your loss ratio. Okay, all right.
And then,
Well, you can't help that.
and then inflation of commodities, 5 to 10%. So what I'm saying is, departments we can expect to go up, 5 to 9% without any enhancements whatsoever. So when we go through these, if departments are, 9 or less percent, we kind of just let it ride unless you have any specific questions. One of those is Public Works Admin on page 6, increase is only 2.5%. So that's more than reasonable. No major increases other than salaries and benefits. On page 7 is animal control. And on 8, you can see it's going up 2.9%. Again, reasonable, and nothing stands out. On page 9 is animal services. Continues to page 10, and it's going up 11.9%. And I believe that's attributable to a new part-time veterinarian and associated costs. Does that sound?
It's associated with actually not having a veterinarian and outsourcing most of our veterinary care at the moment.
Is that still the best way to go for the bang for our buck, or?
We need to hire a vet. So we're still working on that. I do have somebody that will be starting very limited time though with us next month. But yeah, we will hit the mark of over $90,000 for this fiscal year of outsourcing veterinary care.
So the real money savings is having our own?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a no-brainer.
Except they're like unicorns.
You don't believe in them?
You can't find them.
You can't find them?
Not find them.
Gotcha. Or a vet that could work on them.
It's particularly shelter vets.
Yeah.
I could go I can match him
Same
serious for
with
serious.
Irish Elks.
Jack's going, what just happened here?
Exactly. Missed all that.
Sorry, Jeff.
It's okay. Page 11, we have engineering. And on to page 12, with a 9% increase this
Flat,
year.
engineering's flat.
And that is chiefly attributed to benefit increases, health insurance, and workman's comp rate. On page 13 is general services. And on page 14, it shows a 5.3% increase.
Start shopping our work comp insurance.
No major increases other than benefits and wages. Page 15 is property management, 5.7 increase. Page 16, the roads division.
So looking at that workman's comp, just as it's, that percentage is skewed, but the money is not. I mean, if they raise the rate $1,000 or $800 on $2,000, that's 50%. So it will just, the percentages look a lot worse, but the money's not that bad, really.
You'll see material changes or material increases in like Sheriff's Department and solid waste and roads. You know, the guys working out in the field along the street detention center.
Oh,
that's where
I
you'll
mean,
see-
I know the rate per hundred of payroll that you pay because of the exposure. I get it, but sometimes, you know, the work comp, they creep up, and they just think, well, you gotta have it, it's mandated. Sometimes they take care of your payroll as well, and then they start taking rate on certain exposures, like you just talked about. Next thing you know, I don't know when the last time we shopped it, or if it just comes with the insurance that we have, and we really have no say, but just
Yeah,
a question.
we talked to Dwayne about that. Roads, 4.6% increase in revenues. You can see highway users going up about 234,000 next year, according to state estimates. Then unfortunately, I believe FY '28, we're expecting a drop off from highway user revenues.
Also, Jeff, just real quick, I think I heard the question earlier about fuel. So over the past 6 months, we've seen about a 40% increase in gasoline and a 92% increase in diesel. So even though we're pretty good this year, we got a little cushion to finish out the year. If those prices hold, we'll probably get in some trouble next year with our budgeted numbers. Just as FYI. Also, if we get into capital asphalt, we're going to see about a 15 to 20% rise in prices starting in April. And we'll probably build up a little bit according to what we're hearing.
So can we do a,
Because it's petroleum-based, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
can we circle back, Jeff, just as a
Goddamn, I hope
effort
so.
before we
Long way
craft the
away.
final budget to get those numbers from you? What the projection would be if we stay on the current trajectory of
Sure.
what that hole might be to fill? So we can maybe put it aside to know if we don't use it, great, but then we don't have to hit the budget again somewhere mid-year or whatever, if things
Okay.
keep going the way they are, because
And how much do you have on hand? I mean, we're stockpiled or diesel, I understand the Board of Ed.
We got sanitary and we have roads. So we have, I think it's around 12, 14,000 gallons we could possibly hold at one time.
Does the Board of Ed owe us?
Board of Ed buys gas from us as well.
Right.
Diesel as well, yeah.
I'm saying, but they owe us on that, it's not just because of the numbers right now are so bad. I
Say
mean, in
that
the
one-
past, they've always bought their fuel from you.
They have recently, yes.
Okay. So how long does that, let's say, you said 12,000 gallons you said you had, or?
I mean, we have one tank that's 7,000. I have to double check what sanitary's diesel tank is. I don't know if you know what that one is.
So how long, I mean, if they were full, how long would they last?
Oh, we get fuel several times a month.
A month?
Yeah. Yeah, we use a lot of diesel.
Okay, and on page 17, it shows a 4.6% increase for roads expenses. And on 18, we've got solid waste, which is actually going down 0.1%.
that's good.
I think,
But that just means
Because
really
we're
that we.
recycling.
Well, that, and we have, our rates at the transfer stations are probably set about where they should be then, right? Because I know in the past, we've had some, they were the other way where,
Yeah, they've held at $60 for a ticket book
yeah.
for quite a
And we're
while.
covering everything with them?
Yep.
Okay, good.
MES is raising the ticket book, I mean, the tipping fees at Midshore this year, but it's not enough to hurt us. We'll be fine.
Don't, they have an escalator built in, right, going forward, right, don't they, there?
They're going up to $74.50 a ton.
And how long are they gonna hold that, though?
I didn't get that information. I just know it's moving up in July.
Deal they had, an escalator that we. was gonna
What
be
about the tipping fees we're charging contractors to bring their septic, or their septic tank pump outs to us? Have we done anything with those rates, or?
It's a question for Matt.
We get to
Septic goes up
06.
1/5% a year automatically.
So there's an escalator that, okay.
Okay.
Can't be too bad they haven't called the commissioners to complain.
No.
They went into voicemail.
and pages 20 through 22 is sanitary water, with a 16.6% increase, and Most of that is chiefly due to, let's see, the fourth line from the bottom of the last page, buildings, additions, and alterations. There's 212,000 increase, which is for administration buildings, security upgrades, and Graysonville water treatment plant upgrades, which are part of the operating budget. On page 23 through 25 is sanitary wastewater, only up 0.7%.
Sewage treatment plant. I mean, wastewater.
Nothing really stands out.
We got to connect it.
On page 26, we have,
Capacity there.
How much is gonna have to cost for speed?
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Do you need them to stop or keep going?
Okay.
okay.
You
On
can
page,
continue, Joe.
Okay. on
He was,
page-
you were discussing something with Alan, so he waited for you, that's all.
Just want to make sure all the
Thank you,
questions are answered.
Just,
26, we've got two position enhancements. One is for a utility worker collections. The other is chief wastewater operator. The chief wastewater operator was funded. I believe for the utility worker, we're able to move some positions around, or we had a vacancy that we can use.
we had a vacancy.
Yeah. But the chief wastewater operator was covered, I think, for assignment in Sellersville. Is that,
Primarily, yes.
or,
Yeah.
okay. And on page 28, we've got the sanitary Southern Kent Island wastewater division with a 32% increase, chiefly due to an increase in debt payments of about $375,000. So as the program progresses, the debt will gradually increase year over year. And that's it for the operating for Public Works. Their capital program starts on page 1 of the capital book. About halfway down, under engineering and general services, I'll touch upon the projects with funding, and if you want to hold up and have some more questions, we've got a narrative in the back of the book with the page numbers that we can dive in a little bit more deeply. First project is county facilities, $450,000, which is an ongoing program we have every year and have had it for decades. That is for major maintenance of county facilities. The next program, MS4 stormwater management. The request was for $300,000. We didn't grant it because what we did was take money out of the wetlands mitigation project and move that to the MS4 stormwater management project for funding next year. $50,000 for a traffic study, $4 million of bond money for the historic courthouse project, $100,000 for EMS Station 400 renovations, which is the station at the old MSP helicopter hangar, $150,000 for health department roof replacement. On page 2, you can see we've got funds programmed for a new sheriff facility, but not until 2028. The next one, Beverly requested some funds for county daycare facility, but we pushed that out 3 years. Board of Elections facility, we spoke about earlier. Crumpton Building, $300,000. I believe the plan is to utilize that facility for the new North County Library branch. And we have $300,000 in state grant funds allocated for that. $250,000 for design of animal services building. $300,000 to public safety property acquisition, which is another rolling fund we have, and every other year we put $300,000 in the pot to accumulate funds for future acquisition of property. And the Queen Anne's County Library North Branch, we've got a $65,000 grant, of which we match with 65 to put another 130 into that project at the old Crumpton Senior Center. From there, go to page 3, please. And got animal services, capital equipment of $25,000, which is for cat kennels. Mhm. And then from there, please go all the way to page 8. Solid waste, about halfway down. $479 for solid waste capital equipment, and $50,000 for general transfer station improvements. At the bottom of that page, we start roads, asphalt overlay program, 1.5 million devoted to that. Page 9, the next project with funding is roads capital equipment. And next is Thompson Creek Connector. We've got a $1.8 million federal grant. Then the pedestrian bridge, total of 3.2 million. I know it says 3,060,000 there, but 140,000 of that is in-kind salaries that we don't actually put in the budget. The balance is a 2.5 million federal grant, and then 500,000 from bond. And then the bottom 4 projects are road special assessment projects. Finally, sanitary wastewater program, 1.25 for ski phase 3, 3.5 for ski phase 4, 500,000 for Marlin Farms Dominion sewer extension, and $3 million state grant for Sothersville wastewater ENR improvements. And that is it for all the public works projects. If you'll have any questions specific to any project, let us know. Like I said, there's more detailed information in the back of your books, a sheet for each project.
Alan, how close is Sellersville to penciling out to where how close is Sellersville to penciling out to the positive? I mean, I know it's with 3 million going in there, where are we at?
Well, that's just to improve the performance of the sewer plant, which has never worked as designed. So, and 3 million grant came from the state, but we think it's going to cost a little more than that. That's where the million. So basically, KNS&G will be lending Suttersville money to get that project done. I'm not sure that answers your question, though.
Well, I was just seeing, when the other community that's online there, Suttersville will be made whole in terms of how much we're pumping through there, right? In terms of volume, to make it to where it's, in terms of being an enterprise zone, it'll be.
You're going to have to raise rates in Suttersville.
Okay, that's you answered my question.
That's an absolute, my opinion. Or else you're going to have to subsidize it.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Or because of that.
No.
Oh, that's what I asked.
So your question was, how many years out till we see
Well,
a
I mean, I was
positive
just
income on
asking
that?
with that additional development, is that, how much is that gonna help? I mean, obviously it'll help.
Absolutely, if it ever happens,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
Is there anything planned in their near future up there?
Yeah, they got a 250 home community right now that's in the planning stages.
Oh, really?
Planning commission and all that, so.
Mike's waiting for MDE to break ground.
Yeah, that's the one we're talking about. But
100
it's
and,
been,
167 or something?
all right.
their finances are so dire, it's gonna be a while to dig out of that hole with the new development or not.
End on a good note.
If it helps, I know I had a look on the historic courthouse. I just did want to add some perspective to that because at the last budget cycle, I know, Jim, you had asked a very good question, does it need to happen now? And need is a very strong word. It does not need to. We're advocating for starting with it soon because the drawings are where they are, so we won't have to update them for changes in code. More critically, as we look at some of the other major capital projects coming down the pike, detention center, eventually a sheriff's department, board of elections, I'll make sure that my engineering team, that we're able to manage the projects in order. And then a reminder too, that it would be housing not only the board of elections, but our mid-county router, which is going to be the redundant system that IT can address that a little bit better. But right now, if the internet's only coming from the one location, the idea is that bringing it from across the west as well. So there's better protection for the internet service for the county, as well as allowing independence for the backup 911 center to truly serve as an independent center. And at the moment, it still relies on its home base. So those projects will achieve that, as well as flex space in the basement that could be used for relocating other agencies when they need some space, or redundancies, as well as conference room, and of course continuing with the ceremonial function. So just want to put that out there. It's more than just updating the building and moving one department. That's the idea behind it.
Ceremonial functions?
So for
The
instance,
courthouse.
swearing
The
in,
courtroom.
using the
Oh, right,
historic
right.
courtroom,
Oh,
those
right,
kinds of
right.
things.
They don't do that in the new courthouse anymore? They still do it here, across the street?
It's two courtrooms, but each one is about half the size of that courtroom. So when we have large events, swearing in ceremonies and such, the capacity to hold those events in the new circuit courthouse is not as
Gotcha.
conducive. And
Gotcha.
people seem to
Like
love
the
the
old-
old building.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tradition there.
Yep.
And when
Born in there.
moving register of wills and orphans court would allow us to readapt space in the Liberty Building, which I know is always at a premium, and reallocate those resources as well. So those are all the many aspects of it. If it helps, as you're looking
Did you
like
say
mine
Board of
now.
Elections?
He did, they meant register of wills.
I'm confused about that too.
It's not Board of Elections.
Forgive me,
Emergency
no,
services backup.
Register of wills and orphans court.
Okay.
Yep.
Backup.
But that's 4 million, I thought it was closer to 9.
It is, there's another year.
2 years.
2 years, okay.
How's the roof on the courthouse thing?
It needs to be replaced, and so if the project doesn't proceed, we would likely utilize some of the existing
What do you think? Dan?
prior year balance to replace the roof.
A plan.
Hasn't been in there lately.
We have 2 desk items.
We did. Due date.
Yeah, I saw your email.
When they're both letters, Jim, for us to sign as support for some grant application requests. One's Tower Gardens, Living Shoreline, and Jetty Project. And then the other one was,
Whatever. But they have semi trucks coming here and they're destroyed
Made to make
the
water.
the Tower Gardens one they need by April 2nd. So I'll make a motion that the commissioners sign I make a motion that the commissioner signed a letter of support for a grant application to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. The community would like to put in a living shoreline and jetty project down at Tower Gardens as an improvement to their community. They just need a letter of support from the commissioners for the project to qualify for the grant. So I make a motion that we sign the letter.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Or is it?
And I'm going to make a motion that we sign a letter of support for a grant to offer, submitted by Hope for All Incorporated for the Whitaco Wright Veterans Home Rehabilitation Restoration Project in Queen Anne's County.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 4-1.
Stephanie, thank you for jumping on those.
Anything else?
No? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.